Two guys in their early 50s with one dream, to achieve middle-aged sporting glory. This is the Missing Links Golf Show. Andy Walker, we are back again after, I don't know, what can only be described as a somewhat disappointing debut into seniors golf.
It was tough. I have to admit. Not only was the course tough, but our golf was
tough.
A bit tough.
Yep.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal. It certainly when you talk about did it meet expectation or not?
Depends on whose expectations you're talking about. Yeah, no, it was difficult.
Yeah.
But before we get into the tale of the Duntry seniors and all of the soul searching that may or may not have followed after that. It led me to go back and question what this is all about and to ask a few questions of myself, to also ask a few questions of our AI friends out there in cyberspace. And Andy Walker, I do want to start this episode on a positive note, all right? So
as in a positive note, or
yes,
like
as in a positive,
literally
some positive notes strung together. Because as awesome as that intro is that we just listened to, my conversations with our AI friends has actually resulted in some epic songwriting, and I as I said, I had to go back to basics and search what this is all about. And at the end of the day, the Missing Links Golf Show, the search for the missing links, is about our struggle and about our desire to achieve middle-age sporting glory, is it not?
Yep. Oh, it is. Absolutely. 100%.
And so with that inspiration, I thought I might play the snippet of a little song that has been written about us and about our struggle.
Nice.
And Pilgrim, strap yourself in for this. You know, a key theme of this song is rocking out. So we're just going to play you a little snippet. If you're lucky and well-behaved, we might play you the entire song as the outro at the end of this episode. But strap yourselves in and see what you think. Andy Walker, get your rocking shoes on for this.
All right.
Middle-aged sporting glory, middle-aged sporting glory. I know they'll play the perfect round when the missing links are found. Middle-aged sporting glory, middle-aged sporting glory. They won't stop, they won't fold. They're never gonna be too old. Middle-aged sporting glory, middle-aged sporting glory. The world hears every drive. Two guys keeping the dream alive. Hot summer days, cold winter nights. One small ball, one endless fight. Steve and Andy are on the ride, with the golf gods on their side.
I mean, come on.
That is epic.
How good is that?
I love it. I love it.
The only thing I disagree with is the line about the golf gods being on our side.
Certainly not the last couple of rounds we've had, but
Yeah, I know. A little bit of a struggle.
Maybe this will be a call to the golfing gods, and they might get on our side after we've obviously not only paid pilgrimage to them on the golf course, we're now doing it in song.
True. It's very true. It is very true. And hopefully it does turn things around just a little bit because, Pilgrims, we are here to talk about the Duntry seniors. It's been played. It's been done. I think it's fair to say that we have not yet fully achieved middle-aged sporting glory based on the results that we put together. But we're here to talk about it. And one of the things about this show is honesty, Andy Walker. We're not here to shy away from some of the tough stories. We're happy to talk it through. That's why we're here. We're just, two guys keeping the dream alive. And
on the ride.
Yep. And
with the golf gods on our side.
Doing the best we can, which unfortunately was not good enough last week. So I don't know, where do you want to start unpacking this whole thing?
Where I reckon we should start, and I know we decided that we didn't want to do a shot by shot of the 36 holes. Obviously, between us, that's 72 holes. However, I think we should start with your first hole. I think we should do a shot by shot of your first hole.
Yeah,
because that's going to lay the groundwork for the rest.
Yeah.
Of the 71 holes that we've got to talk about.
Okay, let's do that. Let me just pull up my round on ShotScope because I appreciate the fact that we're only talking about one hole, but Pilgrims, it's a lot to talk about. Okay,
it is.
So yeah. Now I want to preface this by saying that the first hole at Duntry is not an easy hole. I think it's the stroke 2 on the course. So it's a little bit of a brutal start. It is a drive where there's out of bounds up the right-hand side, Orange High School lurking on the right-hand side and the entry road. There's also on the left, when we played the practice round the afternoon before and I hit my drive into the left trees and we didn't find the ball. So I had some concerns about this tee shot when I was preparing for the round. And so I was standing on the tee and I had done everything I could to really try and get my head in the game to be focusing on the target that I wanted to hit, not on the bits I wanted to avoid. All right?
Yep.
So I hit driver and I hit the left edge of the fairway. So
it was actually a pretty good drive.
I was pretty happy with that. Wasn't the longest because we were a little bit into the breeze, but it was okay. I was quite happy. So I was walking up to the ball off the tee in pretty good spirits, thinking about, all right, well, look, I'm still back a little bit. We're into the wind. We've kind of got to go up over the crest of the fairway and down the hill to the green. So I thought I'll hit a 5-wood and just kind of aim at the, just the right side of the green and try and cut the 5-wood back in just so I don't go long and, the camber of the fairway will bring things back to the green. So that was the plan. Stepped up, pulled 5-wood, stood over the ball, felt quite confident and really just a straight pull, I think was all you could describe it as. I've gone into the tree line, probably, 40, 50 metres up the fairway to the right-hand side of the green. I would have missed the green on a straight line probably by 50 metres, I would say.
Yep.
The ball went through the trees. It started to bounce down the entry road all the way down almost to the entrance gates of Duntryleague.
Took us a little while to find it.
Did take a while to find it.
Yeah, I sort of was looking around going, oh, this isn't good. Because it wasn't immediately obvious where it was. And I think, I was the one who started walking down the road going, oh, it may have gone down the road a bit. And I started walking down the road, but then I sort of stopped and turned around. It was one of our playing partners that kept on going down the road.
I know.
And it was down there.
Yeah, and I'd hit a provisional down sort of pretty much down the right-hand side, pretty much where I wanted to actually hit the first one. But but we did find it. And ladies and gentlemen, it was deader than dead. There's probably been people in cemeteries that were less dead than this golf ball. So I mean,
you couldn't even go backwards to the fairway.
No, you couldn't.
There was just nowhere to go.
You couldn't. I was literally standing there trying to figure out how on earth can I do anything with this golf ball without calling it unplayable and going back to play another shot from where I'd hit that one. Now, bearing in mind, if I'd done that, I can't play the provisional because the first ball's been found. So I would have to walk all the way back and actually play another shot from that position, which I didn't really fancy. So I thought I will attempt to get lucky and blast one through a very, very thick grove of trees towards the green. I should also mention that when the ball was found, it was not just to the side of the road, but it was actually kind of in a bit of a natural gutter in front of the road. So I knew I had to punch something quite low, try and thread through about 57,000 trees. So I took a 6-iron. I punched one low.
And did you get lucky with the golf gods on your side?
I punched a 6-iron. It actually clipped the edge of the road and it went straight up. I don't know if you noticed that, but it actually went straight up and it hit the top of the trees and then dropped down.
Wow. Okay.
And not only did it drop down so dead behind a tree trunk that I had to go right-handed with the back of the club and knock it sideways.
Yep.
Which I did.
So you were still in the trees at this stage?
Oh, deep in the trees. Had to knock it sideways, which I did into the middle of a grove of little spindly trees, which I couldn't get a club on. So I then had to knock it through that and hopefully get it out onto the fringe or something along those lines, which I didn't quite do. I got it just into the edge of the garden area onto the bark, which I couldn't really pitch from because it's just that stuff that your wedge is going to just die straight into.
Yep.
So I bunted a 7-iron, which actually was the best shot I'd probably played since the tee shot. But it ran through the green, went across to the other side, knocked it back on, and then a couple of putts, all in all, adding up to a 5 over par 9 on the first hole of a 36-hole stroke event.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which, look, at that stage, I sort of was thinking, should I go over and say anything? Do I just like let it go? Do I need to just let you go through whatever emotions you need to? I actually didn't know what to do at that stage.
Understandable, neither did I. Neither did I.
I mean, I felt so bad for you that I actually didn't know what to do. It was a tough moment, and it was tough to watch.
Yeah, I can only imagine. It would have been tough to watch. It was tough to experience, but I would say I feel quite proud of the way I handled myself in that moment.
Yeah,
just chalked it up.
Yep. And look, to your credit, after we teed off the second, we're walking down the second fairway, and you're paraphrasing. I don't know what your exact words were, but there was something along the lines of, we've got another 35 holes. What are the chances are that I'm going to be able to still finish with a reasonable score? Yeah. And I went, you know what? That's commendable. After the start and the abominable start, absolutely.
I got mugged on the first.
Rather than ejecting out of the driver's seat, you've gone, you know what? It's hole one. We've got 35 holes to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, the way that I looked at it, to be perfectly honest with you, was if I'd made a double on the first, on that hole, I actually wouldn't have been that upset because it's a really tough hole.
Yep.
If I'd made a bogey on that hole, I probably would have thought that was a pretty good score. If I'd made par on that hole, I would have thought that I'd gained at least a shot on what I would normally have, and to be perfectly honest, on most of the field.
So I reckon you would have gained at least 3/4 to a shot on the field if you'd made par on that hole.
100%. Sure. So the way I looked at it was, let's say double was probably the break even on that hole. Therefore, making a quintuple, I was 3 shots worse than that. And that was my attitude, that over the next 35 holes, is it possible to pull back 3 shots? Well, of course it is. So really, as crap as it is it that big a deal? No, mathematically, really, it's not when you break it down like that. And the other thing is you can't change it because
No, you can't.
it's in the scorecard.
Yep.
And it was a bit unlucky. Like it was a poor second. No two ways about it. Like it was a big over the top straight pull. But at the same time, that could just as easily have hit one of the trees and dropped down.
Yeah.
It didn't. It went straight through and it ran all the way down to like I say, the deadest of dead places that anyone could ever be on that golf course. So, you know, it is what it is. You know, you pick yourself up and you move on, and there's no point throwing the towel in after one hole on 2 days of stroke play because you know that plenty of other people are going to have bad holes, and that absolutely proved to be true.
Yep. So, given your start and given there was 35 holes to go, did it improve?
Well, let me cut to the chase. On day one, I ended up shooting 91 off the stick, which was not great. But with a 9 on the first hole, it actually wasn't a disaster as much as it could have been after that. I did actually play a couple of holes at least of decent golf. There was a few other wobbles here and there with a couple of doubles, I think another triple along the way. And that was going to happen on those days because to be honest with you, it not only was it difficult insofar as the greens were running quick, the golf course was playing pretty hard. Like the greens were very, very hard, so it was difficult to stop shots on the green. It was also difficult to find your ball quite often because of the time of year being autumn in Orange and the amount of leaves that were on the ground. So, you know, there were any number of challenges. Did my golf improve? Not enormously. However, I did finish the 36 holes with the same golf ball that I started, and miraculously.
It's more than I did.
Yeah, and there's something to be said for that. So, look, it was a battle, but it was a battle after the first. What can I say? It was 91 on day one. It wasn't amazing.
Yeah, and it's par 70 as well. So talking 21 over, which
was not great.
It's not great, but look, it and I agree with your assessment of the course. I mean, especially the greens. The greens were firm and they were fast, and it felt like a lot of the time you landed the ball at the front of the green, it stopped, and you landed say a third to a half. Onto the green, and it bounded through and onto the back of the green. It was a tough couple of days, and with the deciduous trees, what did it take? Sort of 4 hours 45 day one, and about 4 hours 40 day two, and it felt like at least 30 to 45 minutes of each day we spent looking for golf balls because you'd hit your ball into the trees and it would be so hard to find your ball because there are just leaves everywhere, and they're reasonable size leaves. I don't know what sort of trees they are out at Duntry, but they're decent sized leaves, and we spent a huge amount of time looking for golf balls. I mean, I lost 2 golf balls. They're both on the front 9, of which I didn't think there was any way that I could have lost
that was unfortunate.
Two golf balls with the shots that I played. I just didn't think they were that bad, especially the tee shot off, which I hit a 4 fairway off the
3.
The third tee, which only just went into the tree line, and we got up there and it had disappeared. No idea where it went.
It was unfortunate. I mean, look, one thing that I will say is Duntry is an exceptionally beautiful golf course, and at this time of year, Orange is a beautiful city. It's known as the city of colour, not just because of its name, but because of the colours that the trees go in the autumn, and being at altitude and just the types of trees that are around there, it's pretty spectacular. There's a lot of elms and liquid ambers and those types of things around the golf course, as well as all the pines that Duntry's famous for. But it absolutely does wreak havoc with finding golf balls. I don't know if there's much that can be done about that, if there's machinery that's available. We researched a few things the night after day one and found a few options that potentially the staff there could use, but obviously they're expensive. It'd be great though to be able to play the course without all of that leaf litter under the trees that just makes it quite difficult. And to the point where, we were hitting provisionals off the tee anytime anyone in the 4-ball hit their drive off the fairway.
Correct.
Just for speed of play.
I've never hit so many provisionals off the tee.
Yeah, never done that. So it was difficult. But anyhow, Andy Walker, how did you feel about your performance on day one, all in all? What did you shoot?
Day one, so I shot 82, so I shot 12 over. I had 6 over the front, 6 over the back, so it was pretty consistent. My ball striking was very, very good. I was actually really happy with my ball striking, especially off the tee. I hit some great drives off the tee. Sort of, if I go through the holes, the first, the second, the fifth, the sixth, the eighth on the front 9. So 5 out of the 7 driving holes on the front 9, I hit very, very good tee shots. The 2 shots that I didn't hit particularly well, I lost the ball. So that was a little bit disappointing. But then the back 9, 12, 13, 16 and 18 all hit very, very good tee shots. And I was really, really happy. And, the Pilgrims know that I've been doing a little bit of speed training at the end of my practice sessions in the high performance center. And I think that's really starting to pay off, because I hit some cracking shots and actually even I was going, wow, this is actually making a difference to the length that I was hitting it off the tee. The longest drive I hit was on 4, and it was I didn't have Arcos. I used Arcos on day 2, but I didn't use it on day 1. But I used my rangefinder back to the tee, and it was around about 290 meters. I hit it down 12. So so I was pretty happy with my shots off the tee. I felt pretty good with my wedge play. I felt like I hit a lot of really good wedges that just didn't get rewarded. And you're talking about the third hole where I lost my ball. I ended up taking an 8. But with my second ball, I hit it sort of down the left-hand side just into the rough. And I only had 104 meters to the flag, and I hit a 3/4 50-degree gap wedge that, and the pin was tucked just over the bunker, so I couldn't go directly at the flag, but I hit it over the left corner of the bunker and just hit it exactly how I wanted to, and exactly where I wanted to, and it landed probably 6 feet on the green, and then just sucked back to a couple of inches off the front of the green. I then proceeded to 4-putt for an 8. But mind you, one of those, the third putt was just a lack of concentration, and sort of, because I'd lost my ball, and I thought I'd 3-putted it. And then I just stood up and hit it and missed that one too. So, it was... so I felt like my wedge play was good. I felt like I hit a lot of really good wedge shots. My putting was just awful. And if I go through my putting on the first hole, I was off the green, but I 3-putted from off the green. On the second, par 5, I hit the green in 2 and 3-putted for par. On the third, as we just talked about, I 4-putted for an 8. Then on the fourth, I 3-putted that green after there's par 3, and I absolutely striped a 4-iron at the flag, and quite a long hole, and it's got a tier that it runs on the right-hand side of the green. It sort of runs diagonally from the front to about the middle of the green, and then sort of turns a little bit and goes across the green from about the middle of the green. And I hit it just to the right of the flag, and it landed on the tier, stopped effectively, and then rolled around and back to, I don't know, what was it, sort of 40 feet or so, and then I 3-putted from there. So, and it didn't get much better from there. So I ended up having 39 putts in the round.
Wow.
Which is just terror. And that's not including the 3-putt from the front of the green. So any time I was off the green and I putted, and I did putt a couple of times from just off the fringe, this was putts on the green. I had 39 putts. It was awful. Like, it was just awful.
I didn't realise it was actually that bad.
Yeah. So for me, the 2 lost balls that I had on the 3rd and on the 9th, they weren't the major contributing factor. When I look back, yeah, it was annoying, and I was very annoyed, but it wasn't the major contributing factor to shooting 82. It was a flat stick. It was 100% the flat stick, because even if you have sort of 32, 33, or me, I should say, had 32, 33 putts, I'm still sort of down shooting sort of, 76, 77, which wasn't too far from...
That's in the mix.
The lead on day one. 73 was leading after day one. So, bit of reflection. Yes, the course setup was a bit annoying, but that wasn't really what let me down.
That's amazing. I didn't realise it was 39 putts. I was just looking there over the 2 days. I hit 35 putts on day one and 33 putts on day two. And interestingly, I actually felt like I putted pretty well on the hole.
Yeah,
it was definitely the best part of my game. My strokes gained, strangely, very strange, is indicating that I was at about sort of level for off the tee. And then, losing the best part of 7 shots, both on approaches and short game, and about 2 shots putting. I don't believe that for a moment, because, quite frankly, I couldn't get off the tee to save my life. So I don't know. I don't know what the algorithm's doing there. It's not accurate. And I think a lot of the approach strokes lost was actually because of my tee balls. I actually think I struck my irons better than my driver throughout that day. And driver's a massive worry at the moment, mate. Like, it really is. It's just absolutely gone walkabout. I feel like I'm swinging a door snake. Just got no confidence at all.
So we're talking a couple of weeks ago. You felt as though you'd sorted out your issues with your driver in the high performance center. So that seems to have sort of gone out the window a little bit.
Every feel that I thought that I had come across, I've either lost it or it's not working. So there's something fundamentally wrong. I actually feel, without jumping ahead too much, like I felt by probably 2/3 of the way through day 2 that I just needed to stop playing golf. And that wasn't so much an eject out of the round thing. Like, there was a bit of that going on, in fairness, but it was just more, I literally was genuinely concerned that I was grooving in some really, really bad habits. And I feel like I actually need a bit of a break and not swing a golf club for a week or so. To
just to reset a bit.
Reset a little bit and then come back to it. It actually really rocked me pretty substantially just how badly I was going off the tee by the end of the second day.
Yep. Yeah. And I must admit, I did follow your lead on
I know. Which is a shame, because your swing was just looking in such incredibly good shape on day one.
Yeah. So, and it felt good. I mean, I felt really confident standing over the ball, especially off the tee. Like, it's been a long time since I felt that confident off the tee. And as you know, at my home club at Coimbra, like, I'm hitting my 3 utility iron off the tee, my driving iron most of the time, because I've just even my fairway that traditionally has been pretty consistent. Both clubs have just gone off the radar and just. I don't feel, again, talking about holding a snake in your hand, like, that's what I feel like when I've been off the tee, and just this big roping duck hook.
Oh, it's just horrible.
It's been awful. So day one, I was, as disappointed I was shooting 82, I actually felt pretty confident that I was going to come back and play pretty well on day 2.
Well, I mean, I absolutely would support that statement. And, you know, we had a really good four ball. You know, the two Brads that we played with were incredibly nice guys. Hopefully they're listening. Shout out to you guys if you are, because they were awesome company. Really nice blokes. And both of them were super impressed with your golf swing on definitely on day one, and we were talking about that after the round, and they were, you know, certainly asking a lot of questions about what you've been doing and why you were still playing off 4 and not off +4. You know, so
yeah,
you know,
but believe me, I look at myself in the mirror and I ask the same question a lot of
well,
the
I
time.
think, in fairness, I think you answered that pretty solidly on day 2. It was one of those moments where I feel like there was quite a lot of validation in that for the work that you've been doing for two guys that haven't seen you play before, and both of whom were kind of going, wow, this guy's a golfer, you know, like he's a genuine golfer. So I think that's pretty cool, you know.
Yeah, and I had a really good chat to the older Brad, who's 62, and he was concerned that in recent times he's lost a little bit of distance off especially off the tee, and I talked him through some of the stuff I've been doing and the fact that distance is trainable, and I showed him how Bryson, which is sort of, you know, what I do at the end of the, you know, practice session, just, you know, get up with the driver and try and swing it as hard as what you possibly can, and just not worry about fundamentals, not worry about technique, just try and get those fast twitch muscle fibers working as hard as what you can. So he actually got a little bit excited and said he was going to have a crack at trying to do a little bit of speed training by the end of it, and I hope he does, and I hope he gets some benefit from it, because speed and distance is definitely trainable, and I'm starting to see some really good results. Firstly, from the strength and conditioning training that I've done over the last sort of 9-10 months, but then also the speed training I've been doing. I reckon, you know, if I haven't got another sort of 10 or 15 meters off where I was, then I think that's pretty conservative.
Yeah, it was impressive. I think, you know, a few of those drives that you pumped out, you were talking earlier, was it one on 6, I think, that up over the corner?
Yes.
That actually I remember we were sitting there and you're like, oh, you know, I think I've bitten too much off there. I'm like, oh, I have seen, you know, an extremely long hitter get over that corner and find fairway, which you had done. And it was an absolute bomb to get over those trees. Like that was, I don't reckon you could have hit that six months ago. Like,
No, definitely not. Certainly not that line. I mean, I was sort of estimating that my average drive was sort of in the sort of 270 to 280 mark on day one. It was it just felt good when I stood over the ball.
Yeah, it was super impressive. So definitely positives from that perspective to take away. I still think you got to get rid of the broomy. I think that's the answer. I think it's holding you back. So just going to throw it out.
You haven't seen me putt with a short putter.
I think it's worth. I think it's worth a look.
Yes.
Maybe you're a left-handed putter.
I reckon that I could probably putt better left-handed than right-handed with a short putter. So anyway, no, it's interesting. I have actually thought about just giving the short putter another crack, just to see if it does, you know, if there is any difference or if it improves or whatever. I mean, I did putt cross-handed, and you know, I don't think I could putt with an orthodox grip, but certainly with cross-handed, and you know, a couple of things that I've sort of worked out. Because when I went over to Penang last year, I putted with a short putter. I putted okay. I mean, this was just a putter that was 100 years old. Like it wasn't exactly a modern sort of mallet-headed putter that I used. It was just an old. I don't even know what it was. It just felt like a lump of metal in my hand. And I still putted relatively well. I would say I putted, around about average for what I would with the broomy. So, there could be something in it, but yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that that's the right answer.
What's the issue when you putt with the short putter? And you say you can't use an orthodox grip. Like, what happens? Is it getting too wristy or?
No, so with the orthodox grip,
Yeah.
so I got the yips with the orthodox grip,
Right.
so and that just I just literally couldn't keep the club on the right path. With the cross-handed grip, and I think maybe because it squared me up a lot with the cross-handed, I do see, my shoulders and feet seem to be a lot squarer than what it is with than what I get with the orthodox putting grip, and maybe that's just because my shoulders are more level and all the rest. So I was able to negate a lot of that with the cross-handed grip, but it still wasn't great. I just wasn't particularly consistent with the cross-handed. But yeah, maybe it's something to look at some stage that I'll invest in a short putter and just see how it goes.
I think we need a putting camp.
Maybe.
Try a few things out. Anyway, it's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else about day one, Andy Walker? Or
no, I think that was pretty much it. Shooting 82, I felt, as I said, I felt like I just wasted all my shots on the green, and that was really. And I know that I was annoyed with losing those two balls and the setup of the golf course and all the leaves and the amount of time that we'd spent looking for golf balls after day one. And I didn't really until I really started analysing what I did on day one, this is sort of when I got back home again, it sort of didn't really hit me what the issue was until I sort of, got back and got out of the emotion of it all.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. So day two was a shotgun start, so that everyone could start together and finish together for presentations at the end of the round, which we'll come back to that topic. But we started on the fifth hole.
The fifth, yep.
Shortish par 4, and really nice golf hole, to be perfectly honest. It's very picturesque.
Yep.
The tee shot's framed by a couple of big trees on either side of the tee box. You sort of tee off through a chute. And I was obviously not wanting to get off to the same start as I did on day one, particularly on that hole. That would have been disappointing. And I was pretty excited because I went par over the first two holes, and I felt quite good about where my game was at that point in time. And then things just began to unravel.
Yep.
And unraveled. And this is where the tee shot really started to come unstuck. I don't think after that, I hit a straight ball off the tee pretty much. I was either hitting big flaring high block cuts or closing the face and snap hooking them, and not much in between. And it got to the point, it actually got to the point where I was thinking about not pulling driver out of the bag when I was hitting tee shots, and just trying to get my way through with even probably like a 5-iron off the tee. I was feeling that bad, but I didn't do that. I persevered, and I don't know if that was the right thing to do or not. I think it's fair to say we kind of got halfway through the back nine, and essentially I was pretty cooked at that point. I've got to be honest. Didn't want to be there, which was really disappointing. And a lot of it was based in that feeling of disappointment, of just how much you look forward to these types of events, and then to play so badly, just so badly.
Yep.
It's hard to swallow.
And I know that both of our, mindset, both of our, the language that we were using when we were talking to each other
was not good.
wasn't good. And I think I said that, if I'm going to shoot 80 something, I'd rather just like stay at home and do that at my home club. So I'm not taking time off work. I'm not spending time away from my family. I'm not, doing this. And it's, well, look, we talk about our golf in a public space. I mean, we've got a podcast, but certainly, when we're in a senior amateur championship or a New South Wales championship, I don't want to go away and shoot 80 something. Like I don't feel as though that's the best use of my time. If I'm going to do that, I'd rather just stay at my home club and, continue to work on my game.
Yeah, and I guess I don't disagree with you. Like I just felt so deflated at the end of that round. And in the interest of full transparency, after essentially ejecting halfway through the back nine, which is disgraceful in and of itself, I ended up shooting a 95 on day 2.
Yep.
And it was so bad that I started to go to places that you just don't need to go to mentally on a golf course. They were around, I want to stop playing,
Yep.
I don't want, and I was due to have another round on the Sunday with a guy who I at this point had not met before.
Yep.
Friend
and this is back at Duntry as well.
Back at the same course.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I was actually walking off the course and I was seriously considering sending him a message to say I'm not able to make it on Sunday. And the reason that I didn't do that is because he's the husband of a very good friend of my wife. And I just felt like that would be just such an incredibly bad look and a very childish reaction to a bad round of golf. So I did actually go out and play that game on Sunday. Fortunately, it was not a comp round, so we were able to just go around, not worry about score and have a nice time. And it was actually a fantastic day out, and Bob was a great fella. Really enjoyed it. I still couldn't hit my driver to save my life, but I actually struck the ball otherwise pretty well and putted pretty well. So there were some few things to take out of that, which I think it was actually quite cathartic to go and do it. So I'm not in as dark a place. But I tell you what, on that Friday afternoon at the end of the Duntry Seniors, I was pretty close to questioning what on earth we're doing and why I even am bothering to think about trying to play tournament golf. It was that bad.
Yeah. Well, I know that I said to you that because I've at the start of the year, we were walking through what our goals are, and I know that I said that I wanted to play in quite a few of the senior amateur events, and certainly by mid-round on Friday, I was going, well, no, I actually don't want to. I want to go back and just continue to work on my swing. I sort of felt like I'd made some progress on day 1, but was pretty clear that I've still got some gaps on day 2. And that was from my very first tee shot. I mean, you're talking about the fifth. Well, I mean, I hit a snap hook off the first.
That's true.
At the first tee. I then hit it into the bunker. I just... My bunker shot was really poor, just didn't take enough sand and sort of got ball first and squirted it out over the green. Then chipped down and 2-putted for an easy 6. Like it was just abominable start, like a double bogey after shooting 82 the first day. And then I've hit it right on the 6th, our second hole. On the 8th, I've hit it left. I hit it right, but then on 9 I hit it left. On 10 I hit it left. Like it was, I couldn't hit it on the fairway. I mean, a couple of holes later on the 12th, which was our 8th hole, that was a really good drive, probably my second best drive of the day. I hit another really good drive down the 2nd, which was our 3rd last hole. But they were my only 2 decent drives on day 2 after hitting it so well on day 1. I just, and I don't know what it was. My golf swing left me on day 2. It was,
and it can happen. I think we've all been there. It can absolutely happen. And it was brutal. It was I suppose, I mean, look, at the end of the day, we were playing 2 days of stroke on a course that, well, I mean, we know, but we don't play all that often. It's not like playing at your home club in, monthly medal. Tournament setup, no, we weren't necessarily off the plates, but we weren't that far off it a lot of the time. The pins were definitely tough, but the greens were hard, and I think that was one of the hardest parts. Like holding greens was almost impossible, but at the same time as well, reading those greens was interesting because it wasn't just about the slope of the green; it was also about the grain of the grass. It's
I found speed control to be very, very difficult. And it was just really tricky.
Yeah.
Also on day 2, there were a couple of the pin positions which were dodgy to say the least. I mean, on 12
was rough.
I mean, after doing a really good drive, my first drive, really good drive down the middle of the fairway, I had 114 to the flag, which I decided to hit, and it was uphill and slightly into the wind, and I hit a wedge, and it just airmailed the green. I actually hit it exactly how I wanted to, and I thought it was going to end up right next to the flag, but it landed on the just in the back fringe and kicked over the green. Then really tricky chip, which I tried to land short to run because the pin was at the back of the green, so really short-sighted myself hitting it over the green. Tried to land it short, and it just hit and stopped in the Kaiku.
To be honest with you, you couldn't get enough money on that happening.
And then my next little chip shot, I landed on the fringe, but I landed into a little upslope, and again, just stopped dead. Well, it didn't stop dead, but it only rolled down to about 7 feet above the hole. Then I couldn't have hit that putt any softer. It felt like it was going to stop next to the hole, and just kept rolling and rolling and rolling about 8 feet past.
Yeah.
Then the 8-foot putt back towards the hole, I left about 2 inches short of the hole, and it rolled back to me.
Yeah, it did.
So
that's crazy.
They'd cut the flag on a slope.
Yeah.
And I just looked at it. I was just about to start walking up to tap it in because I'd left it 2 inches short, and it just started rolling back to me.
Yeah.
And that to me, unfortunately, it sort of rolled back about 5 feet. It sort of had about 5.5 footer, which I managed to make. But to me, that's unfair. I mean, I have no problems with golf courses that are set up to be challenging. I have an issue with golf courses that are set up to be unfair. And putting the flag and the pin on a slope with that speed of green so that it rolls back to you, that's unfair. And I don't know how many people sort of would have done what I did, but I'm sure that there was quite a few people in the field that would have had that exact experience.
Oh, it would have happened. I mean, the hard thing with that, right, is you can't putt from above the hole because you experience that. And if it doesn't hit the hole, you're 12 feet past, no matter how soft you hit it. You couldn't even putt from below the hole, because if it didn't go in, it was back at your feet, 6-8 feet down from the hole. I had a sideways across the green putt on that one, which, and I reckon, I think where the pin was cut, it was at least 2 degrees of slope there, if not 3. Yeah. So to your point, should you put a pin there? I don't think so. So I was putting across the green. I can't believe mine stopped where it did. Because I was left with about a 2-footer to tap in after that. And I thought that was pretty remarkable because I was expecting if I didn't hit the hole there, I was going to be down where you guys were. But I didn't quite get to the hole, so maybe it was slightly flatter there, which is where the pin should have been potentially. So
and then a few holes later on 15, which is a tiered green, they had the flag on the top tier, but only just on the top tier. And one of the other Brad that we played with was above the hole. And he putted, and he probably would have only putted like maybe 2.5 feet past the flag.
Gone.
And it just kept rolling down the tier onto the front of the green. Now, I'd actually hit a pretty good, what I felt was a pretty good wedge shot into the green. It actually landed past the flag, and because it jagged back a bit, it went down the tier to the front of the green. So I had about a 40-footer, and I putted up about sort of 2.5 feet past the hole. And I looked at the putt and I went, well, if I miss this, it's another 4 putt.
Yeah, you're back down there, 100%.
Yeah. So, I mean, fortunately I made it, but yeah, I don't like those unfair pin positions. As I said, I'm all for challenging. I enjoy challenging conditions, but unfair conditions I have a bit of an issue with. But not that was the reason why I played badly and played poorly. And sort of just to summarise sort of day two for me, I had 85 on day two, so 15 over. I only hit 6 greens in regulation and again had 37 putts.
Wow.
Yeah, so over the 2 days, I've had almost 80 putts. So 76
amazing.
putts.
That's amazing.
Over 2 days.
Nothing.
Which is,
nothing says, and I mean nothing says get rid of the broomy like 80 putts over 2 days.
So yeah, it was difficult, and I sort of feel as though our expectations going into the event were probably a little bit too high. I mean, I look at my comp rounds. I mean, I've played prior to Duntry, I'd played 2 comp rounds in 2026, and I've played 8 comp rounds in the preceding 12 months. Now, I've played a lot of golf in my life, but 8 comp rounds in 12 months is that enough golf to be able to have your game stand up under those conditions, championship conditions where it's tough greens, tough pin placements, relatively tight golf course, stroke event. I'm not convinced that I should have gone into the event with the expectations that I had.
Yeah, I mean, look, hindsight's a beautiful thing. I certainly didn't expect to play as badly as I played. Be honest about that. I didn't hold expectations of playing brilliant golf. I would have liked to have, at least sort of played there or thereabouts to my handicap, which I don't think was outside the realms of reality. Didn't pan out that way, didn't pan out anywhere close to that. What I was more upset about, to be honest with you, was just that I just couldn't pull it together, and I couldn't play with what I had and get it around the course in any way in decent shape. And it's a long, long time since I've been in that situation. I have to say it's not been that bad for a long time, and it's given me quite a lot to reflect on after the round. And I really do think that, I think in reality, we had a bit of this conversation as well after the round. There's been a hell of a lot go on personal life away from the golf course. And this has been building for some time as well, not just the family health issues, but also work pressures and, time and various other things, which has been extremely disruptive to practice time and preparation. I don't offer that as an excuse. It's just one of those things that I probably have put to the side a little bit and not really paid attention enough to. And I think for me at the moment, I don't see that changing for the next 6 months at least. Probably for the back end until the end of this year, maybe into early 2027. So what does that mean? Am I actually going to be able to do much about where my game's at the moment? I don't know, reliably, probably not. I think for me to try and even think about playing in any more tournaments at the moment, it's just probably not a great plan, because why would I expect to do anything different to what happened on this one? And if that's the case, and how bad I felt by the end of this one, why would I want to do that to myself rather than actually spending some time on, just being a little bit kinder and giving myself an opportunity to work through what I need to work through and some practice time to actually try and get my game back to where I know it can be, because it was there and has been there for quite a while. And I think that's got to be the focus, is just actually just being a bit sensible about it and not trying to bludgeon myself with stroke play tournaments at the moment.
And it's probably not a bad strategy for where you're at. I mean, I would like to continue, the trajectory of where my golf game's going, because I feel as though in the back end of the year, things will be, different to where they are now. I mean, as all the Pilgrims know, I've been through some injuries over the last couple of years, and I just haven't played a lot of golf. So, I feel like it's there. And again, I mean, we talked after the weekend, and I feel as though you've got a lot more challenges than what I do in regards to the availability of time and the ability to continue on with game improvement. Whereas I feel as though, I've still got that opportunity. And while I walked away from the Duntry Seniors going, I don't want to be playing in championship events and stroke play for a little while, I still feel as though, come August, September, when all the senior events come around to sort of where I am on, Central Coast, sort of Newcastle area, I feel as though that my game should be in a decent position. I'm not saying that I'm going to be playing off scratch or one or anything like that, but I certainly feel as though if I can go out and shoot, mid 70s or mid to high 70s, like and what I've said with my local club comps, if I can break 80, I should be reasonably happy with that. So if I can sort of, be shooting sort of mid 70s in club comps, and then sort of, mid 70s to high 70s in those types of stroke play events, then I think that's within the realms of possibility of where I can go over the next few months.
I reckon you're not far away. And I know both the Brads said that after the round, even after day two. When we sat down afterwards, and I agree. I actually reckon you're not far away. I think where your swing's at the moment is fantastic, and day two got a bit out of shape, but it could just have easily have continued in the way that day one did. And I think that if you had actually putted better on day one and posted a score, I don't think day two pans out the way that it did. I think that affected things confidence-wise, and you felt further off the pace of the tournament than what you were, and potentially chasing things a little bit and whatnot. But I mean, it might also be a case of reps on having that swing and consistency with that swing and some of those factors. But I don't think it's that far away, and the quality of the ball striking that you've got going at the moment is good enough that just on any given weekend or any given day, that's going to click and that's going to come together. And if you have a pretty good day around the greens, you're going to shoot, par or better. So I actually don't think you're as far off it as what it might feel at the moment, is my view. I know I joke about the broomy all the time because, it's fun. But I've said it before on this show, I'll say it again, I would love to see you go and actually do a putter fitting at Club Champion, Pure Form Golf.
Yep.
I reckon those guys absolutely know what they're on about, and getting you on the Sam Putt Lab. I know that there's this view of I had the yips before, I had to go cross-handed. But if you went in with a completely open mind and just saw what the numbers told you, it might surprise you. There's obviously a cost to doing that. Doesn't mean you've got to buy a new putter, by the way. It'd be about $150 to go and get the fitting done and just go through that experience. I think it'd be really interesting because I do feel that although the broomy has addressed some of those face control issues, mentally at least, it's still not it's still not where it needs to be for the rest of your game. And, you know, like you talk about bringing the face back closed and some of those things with the way that the broomy is. We've been talking about that for years, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, but I also haven't put much time into practicing my putting either, and I've put and this is what I've done my whole life, right? Yeah. Is that I've put a lot of time into my ball striking and not a lot of time into short game and putting. That's just what I do because I enjoy ball striking. I love being able to practice my swing, and I love the feel of like those drives I hit on day one. Like there is no better feeling than that.
Oh,
right.
Look, 100%, except maybe sinking an 8-footer for par when you're staring down the barrel of a bogey, like that's great too. And
yeah.
And your scorecard really appreciates it. I just think, I think it's the next frontier for you. You keep doing what you're doing with your ball striking because it is absolutely working, right? 100% working. The putter's the issue. Probably more, like definitely more so than your chipping and pitching. The putter's the issue.
Yeah,
I think we proved it at Duntry, and it's not that you can't read a putt. You absolutely can read a putt. We've been down that path. We know that.
Yeah.
You just can't hit it on the line. That's the problem.
Yeah, and that's what I said to you, halfway through day two, is that I can't seem to be able to hit it on the line that I want to.
Yeah, I know.
And it's really frustrating because I can see the putt. I know where it's going to go. And how many putts did, like, after I hit it, I just stood straight up and started walking after the ball because I knew it was not even remotely close to being on the line to which I intended.
I know. So I think about it, but I really do think be open-minded because I don't think the broomy delivers you the outcomes that you think it does.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll think about it.
I know we've had the conversation before, but we're going to have it again another time until you do something about it. But the point that I make is I think your game is close. I think it's really, really close. I think my game, unfortunately, has gone a long way backwards in the last 6 months. It's a real worry. I feel like I probably need an intervention with getting back to a bit of coaching of some sort because I actually don't know what it is that's caused it. And it's got to be something. It's not good.
Yeah, and I agree with that. That's something that I've thought about. A little bit is that while I don't have a coach, I had a couple of coaching sessions a couple of years back when we first started on this pilgrimage. But since then, I've also done a lot of not just YouTube University, but I've bought a couple of swing courses through a couple of the commentators through YouTube University, a couple of the channels that I really like, and when these guys start talking about how they swing it and what their methodology is, and I've gone, I can relate to that. I want to sort of get more of that, and so I bought a couple of those swing courses and gone through them, and with Golf Swing Replay app and just normal camera, I feel as though I can diagnose my own issues when it comes to swing because I understand it, been doing it for a long time, and I understand what I do, and I think I'm 80% through resolving the issues that I had from 30 years ago when I wanted to hit a fade. I'm not hitting a fade anymore. It's sort of, you're just one of those little draws that's and it's not even a lot a draw. It might be only a couple of yards of draw that I'll hit with a driver or long line, and with my shorter clubs it's almost straight. So I feel as though I can sort of nut out where I want to be and where I want to go. Whereas I feel as though you probably need a bit more guidance than that, and you need to engage someone to be able to go, hey, these are the steps that we need to take to get you back on track and get you to where you need to be from a ball striking perspective.
Yeah, 100%. And I need to understand what are some of the things that when it's not working that I can do to get it back on and at least playable. At the moment, it's bad. Is where it's at. So, which is disappointing. But hey, it's another challenge and it's something to work through. I'm not alone. Plenty of people have moments like this and come out the other side. So I intend to do the same. And, it'll be an interesting experience and a story to tell. Hopefully the Pilgrims will learn something about it as we go. So,
for sure. So
we're not giving up, but yeah, it's definitely a roadblock at the moment. A speed bump.
Yeah. Yes, definitely a speed bump.
Yeah. So there you go, Andy Walker. Duntry Seniors, not the story we wanted to tell. No,
it wasn't. But we're here to be honest, and it's raw, and it's we just got to face up to what it is. So it's one step at a time, and we've got to keep moving forward, and do the best we can.
And remember why we're in it. Yes. So anyway, Pilgrims, send us your scorecards for the month as well, because we're going to do yearly championship in the next episode. So it'll be good to get stuck into that. But, I feel like Andy Walker, we do like to rock ourselves out of an episode. I don't know, how are you feeling about the about having a listen to that full song? What do you reckon?
Oh, look, I would love to hear the full song. I'm very, very excited by the little snippet that we just heard, and really pumped to hear the rest of it.
I actually think possibly this is the greatest golf song ever written. I know it's a big call.
Well, I mean, if the chorus and the end of the song is End of the Go By, I think we're onto something.
Well, I think let's do it. Have you got any advice for the Pilgrims as we kick back and listen to a bit of middle-aged sporting glory?
Oh, look, only one thing left to do, and that's to rock out, Pilgrims.
Hallelujah, brother. Get into it.
Some say golf's a game, but it's life in a frame. No matter how far it flies, you gotta play the ball as it lies. Green grass in the afternoon, white ball under summer blue. Strike the ball clean off the tee, heartbreak when it lips out on me. Chasing middle-aged glory, their velocity is strong. How can chasing a dream be wrong? Middle-aged sporting glory, middle-aged sporting glory. They know they'll play the perfect round when the missing links are found. Middle-aged sporting glory, middle-aged sporting glory. They won't stop, they won't fold, they're never gonna be too old. Roving sandy wedge on the mic says they don't have the stuff to lie. Says the mental game is gone, says the best days moved along. At the high performance center, swing by swing to find the answer. Is it swing plane or the grip? They've gotta step up and just let it rip. But the clock don't own their names, and the fire still burns the same. If Sandy Wedge won't sing their song, they'll have to prove old Sandy wrong. Middle-aged sporting glory. summer days, cold winter nights. One small ball, one endless fight. Steve and Andy are on the ride, with the golf gods on their side.
Far out, man. There's a Grammy in that. See you later, Pilgrims.